All right, what do you think?
I think I like the teal better than the pink. Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Janet.
We're with Fleming Originals.
We're makers and we want to put the Glowforge Aura to the test. So our goal has been to put this machine to the test. We want to see if it'll work for makers with small or micro businesses. And we're very excited. We want to be fair. We know this is a relatively low cost machine. So we know there are concessions. We found out that it wouldn't cut clear acrylic or white acrylic or translucent acrylic.
But we could live with that because we were told that it could cut colored acrylic.
Yes.
So black acrylic, blue acrylic, red acrylic, etc.
Well,
the Glowforge Aura uses a diode laser, not a CO2 laser like the other Glowforges. As a result, it's about half as fast as any of the other Glowforges. But at the much, much lower price point, the slow speed is really to be expected.
we can live with that.
We can live with that. We knew we were trading speed for cost.
So we were excited. We could cut up to 1/4 of an inch. That seemed very reasonable. And they have hundreds of materials at 1/4 of an inch.
Hundreds of materials.
But then we find out that it can only cut soft things up to 1/4 of an inch, like foam.
Don't really need that much foam, but they still have lots of materials that are 1/8 of an inch thick, which is half of 1/4 of an inch.
So we're thrilled. We're told they have proof grade materials of all kinds and an 1/8 inch thick. And we're satisfied. That sounds to us like
we can work with that.
we can work with that. We can layer it if we have to. This is good.
Yeah,
we were excited.
We can live with that.
We went to Michael's. We read that you wanted to use the draft board first before you mess up any of the expensive wood. This was $8.99, I think. So for Glowforge prices, $8.99 was pretty good. So we're doing our testing. We put it in the machine and it gives us a code. It won't cut it. So,
says it's invalid material.
invalid materials for this printer, I believe. Okay.
So we're disappointed, but
we go back to the store. And we had already purchased the acrylic because we can cut colored acrylic up to an 1/8 inch. They had our local school colors, perfect colors. We saw that we could not cut thick materials because these are medium. We can cut medium, we can't cut thick.
Right, so we got the thinner.
Yes. It doesn't say they haven't changed the packaging yet, the label.
Wrong way.
They haven't changed the label yet. So it's the proof grade medium. We should be able to cut that according to everything we heard. Now,
it's not that thick.
I'm not saying that people were being dishonest. I think, they launched it quickly. The information was coming out after people were buying it. And again, we purchased it right after midnight on the day it's released. So we have these nice pieces of acrylic, but they were like $20. I'm not exactly sure. I'll correct myself. So we went back to Michael's and we purchased the little ones that are $7.
And we're really excited to try them out.
Yeah. I'm seeing keychains, all kinds of things. It's so exciting. We put them in the Glowforge. We get the same error. It's not going to work.
Invalid material.
So the influencers often had stacks of materials, one in particular, and this person did a fantastic video and we're so grateful because we did learn a lot, but it had the proof grade materials and that you could use them. I would imagine they hadn't tried those and they tried those samples.
Kind of made the same assumption that we did if it was thin enough.
Right. So again, we're not blaming anyone. We're not accusing anyone, but this was very unclear. And many people I'm hearing have questions like, what will it cut? What will it cut? There are some things we like, but this was just about a deal breaker because we didn't buy the hardwoods because they are so expensive. So we haven't tested that yet, but we're afraid to test it. There is an end cap at Michael's with under the Aura, so I assume everything on that end cap is compatible. They did have some hardwoods, but this is a lot thinner, and it has the new packaging that says that it is for the Glowforge Aura. But they were about the same cost. They weren't cheaper. So we got it because it did say it would cut.
It's about half the thickness. So half the material for almost the same money.
It wasn't much less.
It was disappointing.
That was very disappointing. So now we have all of these materials that we need to return and figure that out. So our goal is just to make that clear, that it does not cut the 1/8 inch acrylic.
Just because the material says proof grade does not automatically mean that it's compatible with the Aura. Look for the Aura sticker on it.
Well,
so far, nothing that doesn't have it has been compatible. Nothing.
Here's the thing, though. Those packages do not say performance grade either. So when the new shipments come out with the new labels, they will say performance if they're performance, meaning the basic, the plus, and the pro. So those aren't even out yet. So there's no way for the early adopters of this machine to know that. So our goal is just, we want you to have the information. If this is not a deal breaker for you, that's great. We think it's a great machine. We like that it's safe. We have children and I'm a teacher. I want to make sure everyone's eyes stay safe. There are many things about it that are great, but this I don't believe was clear, and I want to make sure you know the materials that it will cut. That's just really important to us. So stay tuned to our series. We will show you some things that it does cut and some things that we are really happy with. But this, that wasn't fun. That was disappointing. We'll see if this is going to work for us. But that was a big disappointment, and we were a bit fired up. So we hope this helps you make a decision. We hope that if you're have the Glowforge and it's just coming in now, that you'll know to not waste your time buying the 1/8 inch supplies.
It looks like the materials, the proof grade materials that it will cut are all the light materials or the eco.
See, that's the thing that's going to be so sad, because it did say it could cut the 1/8 inch medium.
And we need to get a piece and put it to the test.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to our disappointment and our surprise that it can't cut this. We hope you'll come back. We are testing, we're getting settings, and
we're looking forward to sharing with you other things that we know it can cut.
Thank you for your time, and we look forward to being with you again soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Please click to subscribe. And if you know anything else that this machine can't cut, please let us know in the comments.